guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today's video was inspired by literally one specific polish, and this is brand new to my collection. This is by Rogue Lacquer, and it is called Ugliest Polish in the World. Now, when this launched, it was like a pre-order, and I don't think I had less than 10 people sending me this, telling me, this is my brand, I need this, I gotta have this polish. And obviously they were right. So of course I pre-ordered it, and then I got to kind of thinking, what is it about the ugly polishes that really draws me in? Because it's clearly become part of my brand, like gross polishes and food polishes specifically. People always send me links to, and they're like, it made me think of you. And I love that. First of all, never stop. I love that. But I'm just like, how did this become my brand? How did I become this person? And I didn't get very far, because then I just started thinking about all the ugly polishes and why I love them. And so I thought I would just share with you guys some of the ugliest polishes in my collection. And I have 10 because I just feel like 10 is a good number. This is by no means a exhaustive list of the ugly polishes in my collection. There's more. These are just the first 10 that I grabbed out of my drawers that popped into my head first. And I'm going to talk to you about these polishes, what made me buy them, why I love them, what makes them, ugly, and why that doesn't matter to me. They're not all green, surprisingly, although they're mostly in that greeny kind of color family. I do have a few that, skew outside of that. Before I show you any of these polishes, though, I want to make something perfectly clear, because I feel like there are some people who they don't like when you call something ugly or say like, I hate this or whatever. This is not coming from a negative place. When I call something ugly, it is with the utmost affection, okay? This is not a shade to any of the makers here, because I actively went out of my way to buy every single one of these polishes that are sitting on my desk right now. I wanted these polishes. I wanted them because the way they look. I love ugly things. For me personally, I think there's something kind of beautiful in the repulsive, and I know that sounds really odd and maybe like not like other girls, but no, like I just think that like things that are just so ugly, they kind of like come back full circle, where it's like, it's so ugly, it's cute. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what these polishes are to me. So all the brands that I mentioned today, I like them. I like these polishes. I love these polishes, in fact. And I'm not saying it in a detrimental way. That was like convoluted and long, but I just don't want anybody to think like I'm hating on these brands, because I gave them my money on purpose for a reason. So I'm going to just grab them at random, go through them one by one, and tell you a little bit about the polish itself and what made me want it. And I think that before we get into the random ones, we should start with the one that inspired this video, Rogue Lacquer's Ugliest Polish in the World. So first of all, the name. The name really sucked me in. Before I even saw the polish, I was like, oh God, I gotta see this. And this is a kind of a muted, dusty green. It's really it's like a swampier green, and it has these flakies running through it that flash back all sorts of colors. I'm seeing blue and orange and pink and green, and they're like vibrant jewel tone kind of iridescent flakies. Whereas the contrast with this really murky swamp green, it's absurd. Like there's something so funny to me about a bright, fun, poppy color mixed with like the nastiest color in the world. And so between the name, the way it looked, and the fact that so many people were like, Hillary, you need this, I needed this. And I like the brand Rogue Lacquer. I don't have a ton by them, but everything I have is really good quality. And this other polish that I picked up by them at the same time, it's not ugly, but I just thought it was kind of funny that this is my order. Like I was just like, the dichotomy of man. Like to me, this is Barbie movie and Oppenheimer, like coming out on the same day. Like that's what this is to me. And so actually, this is what I should wear when I see the Barbie movie, but that's not what this is about. This is about ugly polishes. So yeah, I don't regret it. And I'm so glad I got it because it was like a capped pre-order. And the first time I opened it up, it had said sold out, and I didn't like read the listing because I was like devastated, and I was like, oh, I missed it. And then I went back to look at it again just because, and then the pre-order was open, and I realized I just went there before the pre-order had opened because I need to learn how to read the listings. But yeah, so that is the reason I'm making this video. So let's get into the other 9 ugly polishes I have to show you. Are we surprised? No? Yes? Maybe? This is Orly's Elysian Fields. I have worn this so many times already. This came out in last fall's Color Pass. This was definitely one where people either absolutely loved it, like me, or they were like, what the hell is that? And that was also me. I was like, what the hell is that? I love it. It's so weird because when I look at it alone, like one-on-one here, in the camera it looks a little bit brown, but like here it looks green. But when I put it with my greens, it looks brown. So it's definitely heavily brown pigmented green. This looks really cool matte. I've worn it matte a couple times. I've worn it on my toes. I've worn it on my hands. I would paint everything in my life this color if I could. This was one that I didn't actively pick out. I just get Orly's Color Pass every single season, and this was one that came out in the collection, the Surrealist collection, and I'm so glad it did because this is such an unusual color for a mainstream to launch. And I can't tell you how many people have told me they bought this because I won't shut up about it. So if you bought Orly's Elysian Fields because of me, sound off in the comments below. I would like to prove a point to all these people who are still on the fence because you guys, I'm so serious. Like, it looks so funky, but it is such, it's such a statement, okay? Like, wearing these colors, I feel it's such a power move. And I feel like this one, as gross looking as it is in the bottle, I feel like it does look really like high fashion when you're wearing it. So if you don't have it yet, pick it up. Here, let's go in for a kind of controversial one. This is Zoya's Leopard Spots. And this was one that I actually used to think was ugly in like the bad kind of ugly. And now I think it's ugly in the good kind of ugly. This is what a lot of us know as a crackle polish. And it's like, it's weird when you put it on, it kind of splits apart and lets whatever's underneath peek through. These were really popular, I think in the early 2000s was when I remember them. And I think they probably had a time to shine before that as well. But even when they were popular at the time, a lot of people said the same thing. They look like chipped nail polish. And I think that with certain color combinations, you're right, they do. But I did these nails that are like black and red with this, and it flipped my entire opinion on Crackle nail polish, and now I love it because it looked like a lava rock. It looked like Darth Maul. Like it was very cool. And so a lot of people really, really hate this trend, but I'm on the Crackle train for life, baby. So I've had a few people send me listings to other Crackles, and I need to buy them because I only have black, and then I have a purple one from the Nicki Minaj OPI collection. And those are the only 2 I have, so I need more. Okay, this is Girly Bits, Seize Every Opportunity from the Honky Tonk Blues collection. I actually bought this mostly for the name at the time. I mean, I really like the color, but the name, my great-grandparents, they loved the Grand Ole Opry. And when my great-grandmother passed away, my dad had told me that she kept the diary pretty much every day of her life since she was like 14 or 16, I can't remember. And I got to look at some of her older ones, and she would just talk about in her diary watching Grand Ole Opry with my great-grandfather and things like that. And so I just thought it was really sweet. And so I kind of got it because of that, but also because of, look at this picture, like look at it. I love this. It looks like a disease. I posted this on my Instagram recently, and one of my friends, I'm not going to tell you who, I'm not going to out them, but they messaged me and they were like, listen, I liked that picture because you're my friend, but if you weren't my friend, I would not have liked that picture. picture because it looks really gross on the nails, especially because it's really sheer. I think if I had like a base under it, maybe it wouldn't have gotten such a visceral reaction from so many people. But because it's sheer and my nails were pretty, like, not super long at the time, but like long enough where you had free edge. And then you have these like pink speckled dots that are almost like chicken pox running through it. People were not having it. And I gotta tell you, it made me want more in this finish. I have a green one in this finish as well. I should post that one too, huh? Okay, the next one I want to show you, I didn't want to shake it up until I showed you how this separates. This separates like this really quickly. It's like the most delicious Neapolitan ice cream, isn't it? It's really creepy. So if you didn't know, this is Pineapples Have Peelings Too. This is probably the Citizen Kane of ugly nail polishes. That's a sentence I never thought I'd have to say in my life, but this is a gold metallic and it's so thin. It is like it's like water thin. Like I feel like I could drink this, but I guess you could drink any nail polish, but it's just the consistency of water. Don't drink nail polish. That's not good for you. I knew a kid who did that when I was in like elementary school and they had to pump his stomach. So don't drink nail polish. But it's the thinnest metallic gold, and it's not even like a type of metallic gold that I like. I like a more yellowy gold. This is more of a antique gold. And then it has hex glitters in various sizes and colors. It's got like pink, blue, gold, and silver, and this like aqua green. But the problem is these hex glitters are also in that like antique kind of colorway. So it's just like, it's pale. It's like, it looks dated. It just reminds me of like a vintage clown or something. I don't know. Every time I talk about this polish, I have some new thing that I'm like, it reminds me of this weird thing that I just made up in my head. It's ugly. It goes on weird because it's watery. You have to fish for the glitters, and then when you do, you get too many glitters. So it's like some nails are really sparse, and then some are so overloaded with glitters that no matter how much top coat you put on, they're still going to scratch you through it. So it's just, this is one that I remember hearing people talk about from like the beginning of me getting into this hobby. And I had known that like, okay, it's like an old polish. You can't get it anymore really like in the stores. And then one day I just Googled it and I found it and I was like, okay, I have to own that. So I bought it. I'm convinced that it's cursed because I just think it's cursed. I think it's a cursed polish. And I say this every time, but I just want to talk to the people who greenlit this, and I want to know what that board meeting was like, because maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Do you think there's a board meeting for every single polish that's created? I hope so. I really hope so. But yeah, it's ugly, and it's mine. And I kind of want to get, I believe Phoebe Moon has a dupe of this, and hers actually kind of looks cute. So I want to get that and just compare them side to side. The next one is, I believe it's Diaspore stones. And this is like a green jelly base. And on camera, I think it looks really pretty. In person, looking at it, I'm going to tell you what it looks like. It's got the green jelly base. It's got green flakies. And then it has these orange hex glitters in varying sizes running through it. And if you have like emetophobia, skip this part. But this reminds me of one time when I was a kid, I ate a bunch of peas and carrots and I threw up. And that's what this polish looks like. Peas and carrots throw up. Yeah, I bought this. This is a polish pickup from July of 2022. And this is another one where I posted it on Instagram, and a different friend this time was like, why would you buy that? Why did you buy that polish? And I'm like, because it's ugly and I love it. And yeah, it's ugly and I love it. I feel like this is a good like Halloween time polish just because it's got that like gross out factor, but like that green and the orange are also kind of Halloween-y colors. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It's just looks like one time when I barfed as a child. That's really why I like this polish. Why do I like that because of that? I don't know. That's not like a great memory. But it's just funny to me that I could find that in nail polish form. That's the thing. To me, like, ugly stuff is also really funny. The fact that people are like, I'm going to charge you for something that's ugly. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay for that. The next one is not only ugly, it's food-based. This is the Raising Cane's Glossy and Saucy. And I've never had Raising Cane's. We don't have them here in Michigan. I think my favorite thing about this is on the bottom it says novelty item, product is not edible. So like once again, don't eat nail polish, don't drink it. This is like the beigest of the beige type of polish, and it has sparse, like medium-sized black hex glitters and super itty-bitty black hex glitters, and then super itty-bitty gold hex glitters, so you kind of get like a shiny look to it. It looks gross. And because of my skin tone, it looks double gross, because this is kind of like a mannequin hands type color for me. This is like one of those perfect nudes where it's like, oh, you look like you don't have nails at all, which is creepy. That's such a creepy look. I don't know why people aspire to that, but you do you. But yeah, we don't have Raising Cane's here. This is supposed to look like their sauce. And I do aspire to one day go to a Raising Cane's and eat the sauce so that I can see if it looks like the nail polish. One of my friends used to be a manager at a Raising Cane's, and I'm trying to bully her into buying this, and she will not do it. So maybe I should just buy it for her and like force her to take it. She would be so enraged. But yeah, official Raising Cane's nail polish, which like between these guys, Velveeta doing a collab with Nails Inc. and Coors, like those were like 3 of the funniest food collabs of the past couple of years. But yeah, get yourself the Raising. It was like $6.50, I think. It was very cheap, surprisingly. So it was on their website. Okay, this next one is not only ugly, but it's kind of got like a gross out factor as well. This is Sinful Colors Chamomile Calm. And just look at that color. I don't even know how to categorize this color on my spreadsheet, in my drawers, because I'm like, is it green? Is it brown? This is kind of like another one of those where it looks both green and brown, and I can't tell which is which. This came out in their Essentials collection, which it was, I believe, a 6-piece collection, and they were all scented, and they were supposed to be like scent therapy type of polishes where like they were really light and nice smells, and they were supposed to be like aromatherapy, not scent therapy. They're supposed to be like aromatherapy type polishes, and this one is scented like chamomile. It even has a little picture of chamomile on the label, and you can see the color is pretty spot on as far as the color of chamomile goes. So I get the color inspiration. I get it. And I get that chamomile is supposed to be calming. I think that chamomile tea, as much as I love tea, I think it tastes gross. I'll drink it. I still drink it, but I just think chamomile's nasty. I don't know what it is. It's just like, bleh, you know? But it's like, yeah, this does look like chamomile, like the tea leaf. I don't look at this color and think like, man, I want to sniff that. So the fact that they made it scented is like funny. But also, if you look at the other colors in this collection, they're all these really soft and gentle and pretty and like relaxing colors. And then this one just looks like baby poop. And I wish that I hadn't said that, but it does. It just does. Like, it's like a nasty color. And that's why I love it, because it's a gross color, and they chose to make it scented. And I feel like that's just so funny to me. So, and I just love scented polishes. So I will buy any polish that's scented. I don't care what it's scented like. I will buy it. You could be like, this one smells like trash. And I'd be like, yes, take my money, queen. Yeah. Speaking of baby accidents, we have OPI's Ochre the Moon. And this polish, I thought when I ordered it online, I thought it was kind of like that mustardy yellow type of color that I really like. But it's like rotten mustard green is the color. And the thing is, I ordered this from Ulta. It was on like a crazy sale. And Ulta, if you don't know, they don't actually pack their boxes with any forethought or care. And so they just had like a box that was like, you know, a normal shipping box size. And then they put like 10 polishes in there, just loosey-goosey, no bubble wrap. And so everything was like banging around, or maybe it was like one sheet of bubble wrap. There wasn't much going on. And so that polish busted open and exploded all over the inside of the box. And so I opened it up and I was like, oh, that looks awful. That looks disgusting. I was like, what did they ship to me? Well, they shipped to me a broken bottle of OPI's Ochre the Moon and 9 other polishes that I ordered covered in OPI's Ochre the Moon. And so, like, this is one where with the full collection, because I believe this is a fall collection, it doesn't look out of place, but looking at it on its own, seeing it in the OPI, salon-esque bottle, it is kind of a weird color to me because it just doesn't feel like, when I think of OPI, I think of red, to be honest. When I was a kid and I would go to the salon with my mom when she got her nails done, half the OPI rack would just be a variation of red or pink. And so seeing this in an OPI bottle is jarring to me. And I think that's why I like it. I really like when brands step outside of the box. And even though this to me isn't like a super out of the box color anymore, I mean, I just showed you 8 other nasty colors and some of them looked similar. I feel like as far as like the realm of OPI goes, this is out of the box for them. And so I think that was why I was drawn to this. Because you guys know I don't tend to buy many OPIs. Although I was at the store and they had the Barbie movie ones and I almost bought one. But I was like, I'm not going to pay Ulta prices for the Barbie movie OPI. I'll buy it elsewhere. And then last but certainly not least, one of my favorite ugly polishes is Essie's Belugaria. And this was my friend Fanatic here told me this is supposed to look like whale caviar, which gross. Like, I'm not a caviar girly. Like, I don't know. I think eating fish eggs is not my favorite. They're salty. They're salty. My boyfriend loves caviar and he thinks it's weird that I like didn't eat it as a child. And I was like, bro, I grew up in a farming village. We didn't eat caviar. Okay, we did not do that. So yeah, this is a really weird polish. It's black. It has these mid-sized silver hollow hex glitters, which look really pretty against the black. So that's why I thought initially like, oh, this is going to be a really cool polish. Because when I bought this, I thought like, oh, those like silver hollow with the black, that looks really classy. That's like very New Year's Eve. But what I didn't know is there's like black caviar beads in here that lend to so much texture that this looks like roof tiles, like shingles on your nails. And it feels like it too. And at first I was really devastated when I got it because I was like, oh, I've spent money on something that I don't like. But then I started getting into ugly things, and then now it's like one of my top 10 ugly polishes. The thing about this polish that is so wild to me, first of all, it's so hard to apply because it's so thick between the glitters and the caviar beads, but also it's like thick on the nail. Like even one coat, it just feels thick to the point where if I smack my nails on something when it's dry, it almost certainly always cracks and chips off. It's so fragile. It's like an eggshell on your nails, the way it feels to me. I don't know. If anybody else has this, let me know what your thoughts are on it. Because it's like, I think I've worn it 2 or 3 times just as a joke, as a laugh, as a meme. But it's one that I will never let go because to me, this is just, it's in the top 10 ugliest polishes of all time for me. And I love it. So yeah, those are 10 of the ugliest polishes in my collection. They're not all green. See, I did 5 greens and then I managed to kind of diversify here. So let me know what you guys thought of my ugly polishes and let me know if you have other polishes that you think are super ugly because I'm always dying to add more ugly polishes to my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what other types of videos you'd like to see from me down in the comments and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.